Hey, it's Parshat Nitzavim Vayelech. There's two parshas this week, and we always read the parsha of Nitzavim before Rosh Hashanah. And Netivot Shalom explains why that is the case. It's interesting that it always works out like that. And all these parshas are all connected somehow to Elul and the beginning of the year and Yom Hadim. So it says specifically in this parsha, the first pasuk is Atem nitzavim hayom kulchem lifnei Hashem Elokechem rashechem shivtechem ziknechem v'shotrechem kol ish Yisrael tapchem neshechem. Like it goes on and on about the different groups of people, categories of people, levels of Jewish people that we're all standing here today. We are all standing here today, and says basically the Midrashim and the Zohar, that this day that you're standing here today, all of you, different categories of people, you're standing here today, that is talking about Rosh Hashanah. Rosh Hashanah is that day where every single person is standing here, whatever level they're at, with whatever mission they have and whatever strengths they have and with whatever they're coming to the table with. It is all le'ovrecha bivrit Hashem Elokecha. You're all going to come into the covenant with Hashem. And all the commentaries seem to say that this is referring to Rosh Hashanah. On Rosh Hashanah, everybody is standing at whatever level they're at, and they are showing up with whatever abilities they have, with whatever mission that they were put on this earth to fulfill. They are coming to Hashem with that, and they are going to enter into the covenant again. And Netivot Shalom says that really each and every person is judged based on who they are, on their specific talent, on their specific level. Like it says here specifically, like your elders, the heads of the tribes, the policemen, shotrechem, the women, the children, kol ish Yisrael, each and every individual. So he says it's not like there's like this basic judgment and like Hashem is going ahead and just like, giving out kind of like a random judgment about all of the Jewish people, which it kind of seems like it was this year. This last year, it seems like the entire Jewish people, we got a major general judgment about this past year. And I just really, really would like to wish us all that this year is going to be a better judgment for the entire Jewish people. I think that that's really what happens. There's like a general judgment. What is the nation going to go through? And then each and every individual based on where they find themselves this year. Like, how are they going to come to this year, enter into the covenant again, once again, and be part of the destiny of the Jewish people. What is our role going to be based on who we are and what our mission is and what our purpose is. And there's an interesting pasuk. It's not a pasuk, it's what we say in general in the davening. It says here specifically, we all are talking about coronating Hashem as king. We are making Hashem a king. That's what all of the prayers are about. Hashem is king. Hashem is king. It is Yom Hadin. And there's an interesting, kind of a saying that we say after the shofar blowing. And we say, Hayom Harat Olam. Each and every time we blow the shofar, right afterwards, we say, Hayom Harat Olam. Hayom Ya'amid B'mishpat Kol Yitzurei Olamim. Im Kevanim. Im Ka'avatim, which means, in English, today is the conception of the world, or the pregnancy of the world. Today, Hashem will bring to judgment every single person, all creatures of the world. So, Netivot Shalom, Im Kevanim, Im Ka'avatim, either as sons or children, or as servants. Netivot Shalom says that this is really the bottom line point here. Today is the conception of the world, meaning we are recreating or going back in time to the first moment of creation. This is the time when Hashem like created the world, had the concept of the world. So what we have to go into now is like we are going into this first moment in time, back to the minute where Hashem created us with our free will, and we need to like reactivate, recreate our free will and show Hashem that we want to be part of this covenant. We want to be part of this new world that he is recreating. Do we have a role? Like, how do we want to come into this new world? What are we bringing to the table? Okay. And Netivot Shalom says that this last point, im kevanim, im ka'avadim, either as sons or as servants, that is actually what the judgment is on. Im kevanim, are you coming to this new world, to this new covenant as a child? As a child of Hashem, somebody who wants a relationship with Hashem, is just dying to figure out how to get closer to Hashem, because that is what a child wants to do. A child just wants to have a relationship with their father, with their parent. They want to work on it. They want to be closer to their parent. They want to have that connection. Those of us who have parents, thank God, who are alive, we realize that as these parents are getting older, and those of you who got unfortunately lost their parents, realize that all they want is like a moment of connection with their parents. They want to go back to that idea. They want to go back to that closeness, that love that they felt as a child. And if we come to Hashem that way, im kevanim, then you are at a whole different level than if you're coming as avadim, as servants. Servants is nice. I mean, it's great and good for you for coming as a servant, meaning, what can I do, Hashem? How can I help here? What is the big destiny? What can I do with my talents and strengths? I want to serve you. That's great. And yet, I have said many times before, and you all know this to be true, Hashem doesn't really need anything. So it's great that we're coming to serve Hashem, but in a way, we need to kind of like reprogram ourselves and realize that really all Hashem wants is a relationship with us, and all we want is a relationship with him. So if we can come to this mishpat, to this judgment, to this new world, to this new year, with a feeling that what we want this year is a relationship, we want to be banim, we want to be Hashem's children, then that is a whole different ballgame. Then your judgment is bound to be good, because that's all Hashem wants. And you are saying, I want what you want. I am aligning myself with your will. You are my king, and I am with you on this, okay? And I want to be part of this relationship, of the purpose of creation. No matter what, okay? No matter what Hashem brings us. And we need to say to ourselves, and this is David HaMelech, when David gives anything that whenever he brings up a chapter in his life in Tehillim about how difficult his life was. And his life was so difficult. It was crazy. Like, he was sick, so sick for like 6 months. And he was like literally in bed with sores and terrible things happening. And he lost all feeling of spiritual, like Ruach HaKodesh. He lost divine inspiration. He lost all sense of like, why am I living? He was in a real depression. He was in a real funk. And yet he says in all of the chapters where he discusses how difficult his life was and how much he was suffering, at the same time, all he wanted is Shivti beveit Hashem kol yimei chayai. All I want is just to sit in the house of Hashem all the days of my life. Or what he said here, Al tashlicheni milfanecha veruach kodeshecha al tikach mimeni. Just don't throw me away from you. All I want is just to be with you, even though it's hard. It is hard sometimes. But if you feel that closeness to Hashem, if you feel that Hashem has not thrown you to the dogs, that he was with you, and that is what we are feeling this year, no matter what, even though It was such a hard year, and there was such a big tragedy that happened on October 7th. And since then, so many hard things, and with the hostages, and there's so much suffering. And yet, we do not feel that Hashem has left us, and we do not feel that Hashem has just like cast us aside. We feel that closeness to him, and that really makes everything worthwhile. And it makes us feel like there is a bigger picture here. There is hope. There is something, and you see the parents of people who died, the soldiers that were killed, the families even of the hostages that were killed. They somehow feel Hashem's closeness, and they feel that Hashem loves them, and they feel that somehow good will come from this situation. And it's something that we need to train ourselves to think and to say. We have to be inspired by these people who have gone through tremendous suffering and still feel it. And I think each and every one of us knows that if in the end of the day we do feel Hashem's closeness, nothing is too difficult to bear. And that's what we can really understand from this. If we come to Rosh Hashanah with the feeling that we are a child of Hashem, that we want to be close to Hashem, and that's how we're coming into this new year, and that's all we want, don't cast us aside. Al tashlicheni milfanecha. Hashem, please help me to feel that closeness. You are bound to have a good judgment. Amen. That's what I really wish for myself and for all of Am Yisrael and for each and every one of you. Have a good year. Shana tova, ktiva v'chatima tova. Everything good. Shana tova u'metuka.